Hey, it's Chris from The Chris Stefanic Show, where we dive into how to live a more joyful life every day in your everyday life, the kind of life that God dreams of for you. Check it out. Yeah.
But
so you sense this. I think it's a prodding of grace to move on, which is honestly, it sounds terrifying to me because you're successful as a pastor. You were really successful as a pastor. And that's a job that when you have that job, man, you love that job.
Right. Yeah. No, it was a good salary. I bought a home. I had a BMW. I just was in a comfortable place. And I can understand why a lot of men who do feel the tug to go to the deeper end of the swimming pool, if you will, with families and the responsibility, I can understand why they don't go that direction.
What helped you go to the deep end?
Well, it was people, and I think I mentioned on the last call where we left off was I had bought a home and I was renting out a couple of bedrooms because I didn't want to live by myself. And so I found these two guys that were young Protestant guys who started renting out rooms. They knew each other. They'd moved in from Wisconsin. And then within a short amount of time, they were going through their own conversion to the Catholic faith, also seeking very sincerely. And I did my best to try to prevent that from happening and said, guys, I grew up Catholic, and let me just tell you why not to keep going down that road. But I started seeing books.
Why did you tell them not to go down the road? What was the reason?
I felt like it was my duty. I felt like...
what were the reasons you gave them?
Again, my experience being they're going to give you religion, and they're going to put the cart before the horse.
But not relationship.
And not relationship.
Yeah.
It's not going to be this free gift of God in Christ. It's not going to be this, love story, this love affair. It's going to be everything else you have to do, and you're going to should all over yourself with shoulds, and you're never going to be enough, which is what we do to ourselves oftentimes as Catholics.
Wow.
And so I did that, and they were very humble, but they said, hey, we've been going to the Sunday night service at the cathedral downtown, and we met a man named Archbishop Charles Chaput. I'd never heard of him
Which, by the way, is pronounced like slap you.
Slap you. Hey,
Chaput. People don't get that. People always like Chaput, like Chaput, no, slap you. Okay, go ahead.
And so they said, we've been going to the Sunday night mass, and we told him that you're the pastor at Pathways, which is only 2 blocks away from the church. And we had a thriving church. We had bought the temple.
I'm going to guess you were recruiting a lot of Catholics. If you were convinced that religion, look, you have to have religion with the proclamation of the gospel.
Right.
Otherwise things all fall apart in the experience, in the user experience, right?
Yep.
But if you're convinced that religion was inherently opposed to the message of the gospel, which is, I think, where a lot of evangelicals fall into a sad error. That error would be like saying that my expressions of love for my wife in the material, like a Valentine's Day ritual, is antithetical to my love for her. No, that's not how it works, dude. But if that's where you're coming from, were you trying to convert Catholics and save them frequently, or just your buddies?
I would say half of our church was made up, at Pathways, was made up of former Catholics.
Wow.
50%. And that's usually the stat. Of all mega churches around the country, 40 to 50% of the attendees were formerly Catholic.
Woo!
So something, wasn't connecting.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so I think Archbishop Fulton Sheen has a great quote where he says, there are millions of people who hate what they think the Catholic Church is. It's about perception, right? And he says, like, not even 100 that hate what it really is. And so I had a lot of misperceptions. And one of them was that it was a works-oriented righteousness, that you're saved by your works. And you really nailed that last time.
Yeah.
But what was going on inside of me, the disfaction inside of me was, in the way I had been trained in Hawaii and in California and mentored, it was very much a cult of personality. The successful churches all tended to have this very charismatic speaker, this head of the church that was the pastor, and he sometimes did the music and the leadership, and it all kind of revolved around his cult of personality. And the danger with that is that when he falls in some sort of way, which happens frequently, the whole church falls. It's like an upside down triangle. He falls and the whole church collapses.
I think you're summing up, someone texted a question, is there a huge difference in prayer when it comes to being a Protestant or a Catholic? And I think what you're hitting on right now sums up the difference.
Yeah.
Did you see the Francis Chan video where he talked about the Eucharist?
Yeah, I did.
If you look up Francis Chan, I really admire this guy. He's incredible. He's the real deal, man, as a preacher, as an evangelical preacher. But he said, I didn't know that for the first 1,500 years of Christianity, the center of worship was an altar.
Right.
And it wasn't a pulpit.
Right.
That sums up the difference between
the whole orientation.
The whole orientation of the entire experience of that faith, of the worship experience for sure. Man, wasn't that awesome? Be sure to smash the subscribe button. hit, smash, demolish the subscribe button, however you want to say it, and share it with everybody you know. I get so much out of these conversations. I know you always will too. So come join me in this journey to life to the full, and we'll see you in the next video.